If you love wood decor projects as much as I do, then this is the video for you. Hi there, my name is Sandra, and you're watching Christmas at the Schwowin's Nest. I'm excited to share that today's video is sponsored by xTool. This project was so much fun. I've always wanted to do one of these wood slice snow globes. This has 6 different pieces that were cut out using the xTool machine. I'm going to show you that in a couple of minutes. But first, I wanted to show you how you can put these together. The very first one that you can see there in blue has some nice little stars that are cut out of it, so I decided to give it a nice navy blue stain. I'm going to be staining everything else as well. This next layer is just some trees for the background. To get the stained look on each layer and for all the different colors, I'm just giving the wood slice a little spritz of water, or I'm just brushing some water on with my paintbrush and then adding the paint onto it. And that just creates a watered down acrylic or chalk paint, whatever you happen to be using, but it gives it a really nice look because you can see the wood grain coming through. For the last 4, I put some white on it because you're going to be seeing each little layer as they get glued on. So I wanted to have some snow at the bottom. This one with the moon is the very last piece, so I'm just going to paint that completely white, even the little edge, but I'm always leaving the brown burnt edge on the outside. I just really love that rustic look. To glue all these pieces together, it's best to use a glue that can be fairly flat. So I'm using a Leans Tacky glue rather than hot glue. I didn't want there to be any gaps in between, and sometimes with hot glue that can happen. I'm just going to apply a generous amount and then glue all of my pieces one on top of the other until I get to the top. I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle to the snow at the bottom of this snow globe project. So I'm just adding some more tacky glue and I'm going to just sprinkle on some Epsom salt. I'm going to just hold it down with my finger, press it into the glue, and then tap off the excess. And this project is complete. This is the xTool M1 cutting and laser machine. It comes fully assembled just like you see it here. All you have to do is take it out of the box and then you get all of your information here, a manual, you get some sample products so you can do your first projects, and you get all of the extra hardware and tools that you need to run the machine. The interior of this machine has the laser and the blade housing. It is about a 15 by 11-inch working space, so it's not a huge machine by any means, but if you're a crafter or a hobbyist like me, and maybe you even want to start a small little business like me, then this might be the machine for you. One really important component of the xTool is that you can vent the fumes to the outdoors. I'm just attaching a little hose clamp here, and this is the hose you see on the table. I'll be able to vent this directly to the window and it will take the fumes outside. So I'll have the ability to work in my home right now at this time of year. And for the next 4 to 5 months, it's going to be really cold here in Ontario, Canada. So I don't have the ability to go outside and spend time in the warm weather. That will have to wait till spring. So I'm really excited to be able to use a machine indoors. The next part of the machine setup is to connect the USB cord. You're going to be plugging it into the back of the machine, and then of course the USB adapter will be going into your computer. Then you'll need to plug in the power cord, and the little button that you see to the left of the machine is the on off switch. Once you turn the machine on, you can see the orange lid. That is to prevent your eyes from getting damaged by the laser beam, which is really great. You can use safety goggles as well, but at any point, you really shouldn't be looking directly at the laser beam anyway. But it's really fun to watch. What I'm doing here is adding some of these triangular prisms. What they are is metal rods in the shape of a triangle. When you lay them down onto the bed of the machine, this raises up your material and gives the laser a little bit more airflow underneath. It gives you a cleaner cut. The best product that I like to use inside this laser is 3mm basswood. This is available at your craft supply stores and also on Amazon, and I will have a link for these down in my description box. I've already got my project loaded and the laser is starting. You can see that little bright light going there, but I'm going to show you a little bit of how it works. It's going to be cutting out the elk project that I did a few weeks ago. And I just did the elk, the same one, just 3 different sizes. It's cutting this out really easily. This is what the snow globe project looked like after it had completed cutting. I was able to pick up the board and all of the pieces just stayed in the machine. That means it did a perfect cut. I pulled everything out and started layering it together, and I was so excited. Some of your pieces might get a little stuck, but just be very gentle with pulling out the excess that you don't need. You don't want to break any of the little fine details that have been cut. This machine did a fantastic job on all of the small areas, especially this tiny, tiny little deer. Check this out. It is so little and all of the details are there exactly the way they should be. xTool is having a Christmas sale. It's starting on December 8th and it will go to December 26th. You can get up to 50% off specific items. There's a $100 promo and all sorts of other things. I'll have everything linked down in my description box, so go check it out if you've been thinking about buying a laser machine. Now's the time. For this project, my idea is to make a giant gingerbread cookie. I painted this with a color called espresso, just acrylic paint to give it one coat. And now I'm doing the same paint, but this time I've added some baking soda because I want to give it a little bit of texture. And I'm going in the direction of how the circle is, just to kind of give it more of a cookie-like effect. When you're working with wood cutout crafts, there's always a lot of painting involved. I'm not going to make you watch me paint everything. I'm starting off with this little house that again was cut out using the xTool M1, and I'm going to be painting this guy white. And you're going to see why in a minute. Normally you would think that a gingerbread house would be brown first, but since my large cookie is brown, I need everything to kind of pop right off of the base. So using the xTool M1, I cut out the words Christmas here using this fun font. I also have the word farmhouse cut out in a different type of font. I'm just using hot glue to put everything together. And with these farmhouse letters, they're a little bit smaller, so I'm being really careful to only apply a tiny little bit of hot glue because I don't want anything oozing out the side. You could also use some crazy glue or super glue or even the Aleene's tacky glue that would work as well. The house didn't have a proper roof, so I just used a couple of popsicle sticks, cut them down to size, glued them on, and then gave them a little rough coat of the same espresso paint. Now I'm taking the back of my paintbrush and I'm dipping it into some red paint and I'm just going to give all of these letters, the Christmas letters anyway, some little red dots. And I just thought that would be fun. It kind of looks like gingerbread icing, maybe in the colors of red and green. So I'm going to do red dots and green dots. And right now it just kind of looks like the chicken box. But once I get everything done, I think you'll see that it looks much better. Now I'm adding the green dots and I think it looks so much better. It's really starting to come together. I already had these little green trees in my stash of woodcraft supplies, although they would have been very easy to cut out using the xTool M1 as well. I just figured I would save myself a little bit of time and money since I already had these and just use what I have for now. So I'm just going to be gluing them down next to the house. You can see that I painted the chimney red and I've added some red dots on the house as well as some green dots. I'm also going to be adding some of these little snowflake cutouts, the large one on one side and then the two smaller ones on the other side. I used some tulip puffy paint in white to add some design around the word farmhouse at the top of the sign. And now I'm just adding some little dots in between the letters at the bottom. And I think I should have stopped here because I really liked the effect of the white against the brown. And looking at it now while I'm editing, I think it looks absolutely beautiful the way it is. However, I went a little puffy paint happy and it turned out a little busy. So you guys will have to let me know if you like this look, it's more plain, or if you like the finished result, which is a little bit more busy. The xTool M1 is also an engraving machine with the laser. I've added a Dollar Tree wood plank to the bed and I've commanded it through the Creative Space software to laser out the word Mary. So it's going to be engraving it. And that's why you see it flashing because it's not cutting this time. This time it's just burning where the letters are going to be. I set my own parameters for the engraving and it was a little too strong. So that's why you see some yellowing around the letters. It's just a bit of a scorching. So I'm taking some of my sheepskin chalk paint, which is just a beautiful ivory color, sort of an off-white, and I'm just going to give this a couple of coats just to cover up that yellowing. This was a user error, so I've definitely got to practice a little bit more with my different types of materials. I'm going to be making this into a hanging ornament for my Christmas tree. I'm going to add some of the Dollar Tree gingham ribbon as you see me doing here. Just going to add a little piece on either side of the wood plank. Then I'm going to add a ribbon hanger using the same ribbon. And then I'll add some pine and some pine cones and a couple of little sweet red pip berries. And this turns out to be a really pretty addition to my tree. This is another set of ornaments that I cut out. I got this design from Creative Fabrica and it had a whole bunch of different layers on it. I just wanted the base layer of the star. So in Creative Space, I was able to manipulate that and just get down to what I wanted. Then I basically resized some of the stars. They're the same shape, they're just smaller. I'm going to be giving this a 3D star effect. So for this one, I just stained it with a little bit of burnt umber stain. I'm going to be doing the medium-sized stars red for this one. The second ornament star, I'm going to start with a silvery base. This is called platinum, but it does have a little bit of a sparkle to it, but I like it because it's very little sparkle. You guys know me, I'm not into the glitter and the glitz and the glam. That's not me. I'm very rustic. So for these large stars, I'm going to need to give them a coat of paint on both sides because you will be able to see both sides. To assemble this ornament, I'm going to be hot gluing the medium-sized stars right in the center of the large one, and then I'll finish it off with the small star, which for this ornament I painted silver. I'm just using hot glue to put these all together because that's all you need. They're not very heavy, they're very lightweight ornaments, and this will hold it together very well. I'll repeat the process for the other side of the ornament. The star has a beautiful three-dimensional look that I just thought was so pretty. I added some twine hangers and then embellished a little bit with some greenery, some pine cones, and some berries, and these look absolutely amazing on my tree. Here's a quick look at the xTool Creative Space program. I have my next project loaded onto the screen. I'm going to be adding one more tree just to show you how to add an image. So you click the image button and then you scroll to where you have your designs saved. For this one, I'm going to be using a Christmas tree SVG, which is a scalable vector graphic. It's also the same format that is used in Cricut Design Space. This tree I'm not actually going to use for this project, so I'm just going to hit the delete button and erase that one. Now, when I go ahead and click on one of these images, I can go over to the right-hand side here and decide if I want to score it, engrave it, or cut it. These are all going to be cut images. I have a whole bunch of different options to choose from of what I want the laser to do. You can choose the type of material you're using for this project. It is 3mm basswood. I am using those triangular prisms, which were those metal rods, but there is an option to not use them if you don't need it. If you're doing a scoring or engraving, you may not need to use those. I just leave them in all the time and I just tell the Creative Space that that's what I'm using. Then it automatically sets the power and speed for your project. Here are my 6 trees. I'm going to be painting 2 of them in one color, and then I'll have 3 colors for all 6 trees, so 2 each color. I also cut out some houses. You can see those above. I've already painted them in a color called espresso, which is similar to gingerbread, so I've decided to make little gingerbread houses and trees for this project. I'm using my white tulip puffy paint again, and I promise this time I won't go crazy with it. I'm just going to outline some of the windows, give the rooftops some designs, fill in the chimney stacks, and then these will be done. I'm also going to give the trees some snow using the puffy paint, and I'm going to try real hard not to go overboard with these as well. But this puffy paint is kind of addicting, so if you haven't tried it yet, give it a shot. It's a lot of fun to do. If you're enjoying these wood cutout projects and you'd love to do some of them for yourself, stay tuned to the end of the video where I give you a brief overview of my new Etsy shop. I will be having some of these available. I know it's pretty close to the end of the Christmas season for decorating, but I'll be doing some of these craft projects for the new year into the different seasons as well. To keep this little village looking rustic, I just grabbed a piece of scrap wood and now I'm just going to hot glue all of the pieces right on top of it. I'm going to put the houses towards the front and the trees in the back, and I'm going to stagger them to look like a forest. I really love how this one turned out. It was so much fun to create, and I hope you like it too. If you're interested in learning more about xTool and their products, go down to my description box. Make sure you click on the links to all of the machines and materials they have available. They're having an xTool Christmas big sale with some year-end savings. up to 50% off plus a $100 bonus. Also, they have a pay over time program that you can apply for. The sale is on from December 8th till December 26th. So what are you waiting for? Head over there now and check it out. Thanks so much for spending some of your time with me today. I truly appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. See you in the next one.